what's going on. Let's take a shot at simply working out what's going on. When you make a statement like that, what's going on means the whole existence, right? Not in a scientific way, not in a religious way, not in a spiritual way, not in an atheist way, not in a knowing way, but in a thoughtful way. You see, all of this is based on thought. Everything is thought. Let's prove that before we take a look. Science. What is science? Science is a word defined by a thoughtful mind to analyze, to investigate science. True. Science cannot investigate anything without its primary intention, its primary function is, I am science, so therefore I can only investigate through the, you want to call it, tools, knowledge of science. Religion is studying, analyzing with the same tools of what it exists as, at what it is born as, to discover what its own self is as religion. So if we take a step back and look at yourself as this individual human being, individual body, standing surrounded by universes, planets, stars, oxygen, all the components of the planet, black holes, holograms, galaxies, cosmos. You're right in the middle of the universe, the center. Maybe not the center, but well within the universe. So when the universe, so is there a way out, you see? Forget about your body dying, forget about death, forget about all that made up stuff. Even if your body dies, where do you go? Where does the mind go? Where does the thought of you go? No idea. No idea. Absolutely no idea. No one has any idea. No mind has any idea. Well, they have ideas, but these ideas are thoughts. They're not experience. Even the enlightened stage can go to the most definite, defined, original, pure, godly state. And it's not out with itself. You see? To experience anything, you have to be yourself. Primarily. So, very simply, all of this is thoughts. All of this is based on thoughts, even through experiences. The experience that is transcendent to thoughts. You look at any speaker, any saint, even Jesus, couldn't describe anything in silence, had to communicate, had to use words, had to use actions, experiences, had to show examples, because the idea that there is anything other than science thinking about science, religion thinking about religion, I thinking about I, universe thinking about universe. And these are all individual divisive words. So I am different from the universe. Science is different from religion. Religion is different from atheism. Spirituality is different from science. All here experiencing the same thing, thought. So when, and of course you'll get many enlightened speakers that will say, yeah, the idea is to remove all thoughts and to, surrender, give up. I can confirm this. To a point where you meet something extremely unshareable. Yes. So what? You have to return, whether in this body or in another body or another thought. The body is a thought. It's a name given through a systematic, emotional, sensory vessel, able to make the thoughts transcend into words, the words transcend into experiences of what the experience of the thought itself is, whether it's scientific, whether it's enlightenment. Also, the idea that it's not definable, you see. Nothing is definable. So we have to, make this life interesting. Let's go. The science knows, a true scientist in its honest, genuine self, with the most simplest mind, will say, every day I use science to discover science, higher science. And I know that in my lifetime, I will not discover the truth. And the preceding scientists also. Because realistically, science takes you away from the truth. Religion takes you away from the truth. Words take you away from the truth. And the spiritualist, the speaker, who experiences this unshareable Sat Chit Ananda joy blissful state, is telling you the way to truth is beyond the thought. But we cannot maintain that non-thinking entity body. This why? I mean, seriously, myself, I lost 10 years of a human existence, 10 years of absolute bliss, freedom, liberation. And it doesn't go away completely, because you've crossed you've crossed from the intelligence to the wisdom. That doesn't mean to say, you see, people misinterpret wisdom as, oh, you must be able to do every mass theory, like the movie Good Will Hunting, you see. It's a brilliant movie because he chose the wisest thing. He walked away from the intelligence into a life with a beautiful woman. So thoughts, they become really necessary and beautiful and pure when you see life very simply. You're not interested in becoming the scientist. You're not interested in becoming the priest. You're not interested in becoming the guru. You're not interested in becoming the greatest artist. You're not interested in becoming a joiner. You're only interested in becoming that what you already are, and accepting that what you already are. a very simple, thoughtful, mind. All of this is thought, which collates into mind. It's like the universe. If you want to discuss or describe that moment where the thoughts disappear and you experience this unshareable, if you wanted to try and explain, you will see that everything, look at the farthest away from you as a body, the farthest away from you, galaxies and cosmos. Let's assume that the scientist has it right that in every universe there are thousands of planets. In every galaxy there are thousands of universes, and in every cosmos there's thousands of galaxies, right? So let's say we can see to the farthest point. All of this is born from nothing. Nothing is a void. Nothing's not appropriate. Emptiness. Let's look at it from the Buddhist point of view, which is the most clearest understanding of how to understand is investigating Buddhism within you. Not the reading book, not the mantras, the chants, the monk attire and all that. The Buddhist in you. So this emptiness, everything is born from emptiness. Emptiness is dependent on something within itself to give life to itself. Now, when you're the body, if you look at the body now, so the universe flourishes and blooms from emptiness. And then the cosmos, the galaxies flourish and bloom within the cosmos. The universe is flourish and bloom. The planets flourish and bloom. Life on each planet flourishes and blooms. The humans flourish and bloom. So, we seem to be at the end of the birth cycle. But it all happened in one moment. How, you see? That the scientists will say, how can that happen, you see? What about time? You have to cross over time. Another thought. The scientist has to cross over its own idea that science will discover it. Science will discover science. Religion will discover religion. You see? The idea of science, all of these things, therefore, they build an aim or an objective and an aim. So science says we want to discover science so we can know where we came from, how the universe was born. Religion says we want to discover religion so we know what God is. The joiner says I want to discover joinery because I want to build a home. All of this, but at that Rumi moment, everything is in that Rumi moment now. Because truth is here and now. You cannot maintain it. You cannot maintain, we take pictures, But our changing natural consciousness changes our appearance. So we say, I'm looking at that photo now, but it was taken a long time ago because I look in the mirror and I'm not like that now, you see. You're not like that now because you're not even this body. The body has billions of atoms and molecules coming and going every moment of every day. Science will tell you, a good scientist will tell you, your body changes every year. Your whole body disappears and is replaced by other components to make a different kind of style of body. The facial recognition, all that is mental, psychological, hard drive. I am Graham today. I was Graham when I was born. But this body was not Graham. This body has never not been an individual. The mind's job is to keep everything, into one unit, and that's fine. But now in our modern day world, the mind wants to confine everybody into one unit, define everybody as one unit. The mind has lost the plot, you see. The mind is, some of the things I'm talking about, science and religion, are worthy. They're not bothering human beings. They're not bothering nature. Well, maybe science can be sending spacecrafts into the ozone and blaming the poor man who's trying to heat his home with a little coal fire, and they say you can't burn that stuff. You're destroying the universe, the planet. And science, universe, spaceship. So maybe they're not as innocent as they make out, you see. Anyway, everything is happening at the same moment. So in that thought, where can you go? Where can the moment go? If you look at time, if you have a mind that believes in time, you're going to say, well, in a few years or 2 decades or 4 decades, depending on what age you believe you are, I'll be dead. I was born from my mother's womb 9 years ago, 25 years ago, 80 years ago. And you'll see that you'll understand the simplicity of the body from a mental, constructed, thoughtful, ideological way that humans have said, like, this is what we need to know. And it's okay. Going beyond thoughts is just an outlet to understand that when this body goes, the body cold blue, that one inside will just return within itself to emptiness. Now, it's dependent on the other bodies that are remain behind, whether this body or this whatever I am that is returned within itself to emptiness as emptiness. It's up to the next coming of bodies whether I return in another body. I keep having sex, keep giving birth. And you think God makes whatever God is, makes body after body after body after body, dead. I mean, where is the wisdom in that? I mean, where's the intelligence in that? Let's just make 9 billion bodies. That's my maximum. And when they die, they have to return. So the same 9 billion are continually returning. And we can put a lesson in class for them. Yeah, this is all supposition, assumption. This is all thoughts. All thoughts. Without thoughts, it's meaningless. Yeah. But when thoughts start blooming and growing into matrix trees, you get lost out in the branches. You become a leaf. So you're best to just be the trunk. Aye. And you can peek out every now and then, out of your bark, Oh yes, yeah, my family's okay. Yes. Oh, there's some food. That's so grateful. Oh, and I'm breathing straight from the earth, out and giving life to the universe that's dangling from the leaves, from myself as consciousness, as emptiness. There's no answer, you see. Live the simplest life. Think the simplest thoughts. Be the simplest being. But who am I? What am I to have the intelligence to give advice. You know, the creator, consciousness, it doesn't need to give advice. Everything is here. It's just that the psychological ego mind isn't happy with what's here. It wants more. It wants to know things that are not relevant. It wants to discover things that are already here. The scientist can can discover a new planet, and the discoverer comes back and says, "I have discovered a new planet," and it's all over the news. And the wise says, "You never discovered a new planet; it was always there. You just witnessed it. It was always there." The word discovery means we have to put ourselves into action. Discover yourself. Discover emptiness. And you'll discover true love, true simple living, and you'll never live in fear for the rest of your lives if you want to. You'll just be free. But the answer is when the oak trunk looks down into the roots and sees what Rumi saw. No end. Not really even a beginning, but the mind, the thoughtful mind, even the purest mind, is not permitted to go beyond that beginning. And that's not because of a punishment, that's because we choose to not know the unknowable. Because we're frightened that we find emptiness. And emptiness sounds horrific. How will I experience life in emptiness? Here and now. This is emptiness. No thoughts circling. Silence, still. Presence, awareness. There's no before this, and there's no after this. It is only this, as that. Om Namaste.